welcome to the Chamber's podcast for May. My name is Jennifer Sugarman. I'm the president and CEO of the Cocoa Beach Regional Chamber of Commerce. And one of the many things we do at the Chamber is we have a Military Affairs Council, which is lovingly known as MAC. And Dean Schaaf, who's with Brevard Veterans Memorial Center, is no stranger to being part of our MAC. And we're very excited that the Brevard Veterans Memorial Center, has won our Business Champion of the Month. Congratulations, Dean. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing fine.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Huge honor. You were voted on by our 1,500 partners for this award. So congratulations. Tell me a little bit, for our listeners that have never met you before and know nothing about the center, tell me who you are, what your title is, where you served, a little bit about your background, and I'd just love to hear all of it.
Great. I'm a 26-year Navy veteran.
Thank you.
And originally from Indiana, but Florida's our home, obviously. But I started out enlisted, was drafted during the Vietnam War, but never went to Vietnam. And I ended up getting a college program. The Navy put me through Purdue, and I got a degree, flight training, 18-year career flying P-3 aircraft.
Wow.
And then the last 3 years in the Navy, I was at Patrick and working with NASA. So I transitioned to a NASA job and was hired by NASA. And then I did 21 years with NASA, worked on 112 space shuttle missions, mainly in the landing operations of the space shuttle. So at the end, I was the landing recovery manager. I was in charge of all the shuttle landings.
So nothing exciting.
Oh, no, nothing exciting. Just a super career. I mean, I had fun through my Navy career and 21-year NASA career, and now I spend all my time at the Veterans Center on Merritt Island. I'm the president of the Veterans Memorial Center, and I just turned over the museum curator. That was my title before, and I just turned that over last month. So, but we've got a great museum, a great center there. It's not very well known. A lot of people don't even know we're back there. And
now we know you because you're our neighbor. We could open up our door and wave to each other.
Right.
And now tell us, because this really isn't your grandpa's Veteran Memorial Center. This is a really well done, totally revamped center. Can you talk a little bit about what it was versus what it's morphed into?
Right. We've got pictures of when it started with a bare lot in the late 70s, and there was I think the first building was built in the 1980, 81 time frame, and then it expanded from that one room, and we had one room that was our museum that we started collecting memorabilia from veterans and putting things together, made a museum, and now that is our library, because we got in 2015. We got an appropriation from the state of Florida for $1.5 million to build an addition to the building. So we built a new museum. Ivy Construction was the one. BRPH was the designer of it, and we built
local
that from
names. Love that.
Yeah, we built that from January to July of 16. Moved everything in there, and then had our grand opening on Veterans Day of 2016.
I remember it well.
And it's a 6,000 square foot museum and beautiful. I mean, we have at least 50 mannequins in there, period, uniforms, everything for every evolution we've been involved in, or every conflict we've been involved in. So we have artifacts from the Revolutionary War through the War on Terror, and we're still collecting artifacts.
In every branch. And now, of course, we have the Space Force, so I'm sure you'll be getting some more items.
We have a Space Force flag in there now.
Excellent.
And so, but we're still just starting to
understand it. I know they're transitioning everything over now.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about phase 2 of the project. We just recently did a ribbon cutting with you in the chamber.
Right. The building itself, that's what I talked about before, but along with that, they expanded the water runoff and everything for the Merritt Island Mall and everything with St. John's Water Management, had lakes out there. And there was an 82-acre park. So a few years ago, the county developed that park, and they put some trails in there, and then turned that over to us. And there's no power or anything out in the in the park right now, and we've had big events like Key Lime Pie Festival and
Right.
maybe a food festival later this fall.
We're hopeful.
Right. And we'll have to use generators because we have no power, but it works.
And it's still a great event space. And let me tell you, if you're looking to host an event, especially in these COVID times outdoors, there's no better place than the Brevard Veterans Memorial Center, and they bend over backwards. Their volunteers are wonderful. So if you're looking for a space, please think of them.
Yeah, well, please do. And we work closely with Merritt Island Redevelopment Association, MIRA, and the Tourist Development Council. And we get some money from them, or not money, but goods and funding, right? So MIRA contracted this second phase, the one we just had a ribbon cutting on about 2 months ago,
right?
$1.3 million addition to the park, and that completed the paving of walkway all the way around the lakes and put bridges across the weirs out there that goes into the St. Johns River, so for environmental purposes. But it's a beautiful place. We got, let's see, there's 3-4 bridges now that through the different waterways. One of them is across an inlet from the Indian River or the Banana Creek, and it's a great fishing spot. Kayaks. We have a kayak rack behind the building. Sobe Surf is the one we have a contract with, and he brings people out for that, and we can. It's a great place.
You can do it all. It is beautiful. If you're a walker, make sure you go out and check out those trails. You also have some shaded parts of the gazebo, and for the moms and dads out there, they have a playground as well.
Right.
So it's
and
really
we're trying to improve that playground and get it rebuilt and get a cover over it so the kids can use it in the summer.
Yes.
It gets really hot out there. But
imagine that, our 7 months of sweltering here on the Space Coast. But it's still beautiful. Very good. Well, thank you very much, because I know you've done a lot of expansions over the years, and so I just wanted people to understand the full picture of what it is that you're doing out there.
And we have another project, $2.3 million project we're working on now. We're trying to put an amphitheater out there in the park. So that will face to the west on the eastern part of the land out there. And, it depends on the size of it when it gets designed and everything. But that could be a big draw for events out there.
Yes,
concerts,
it could. Concerts,
whatever.
that's great.
So,
yeah, especially outdoors. That's what we like to see.
And at that time, they'll bring power in and sewage and this kind of thing. So we'll have restrooms out there. And right now we have restrooms, but it's very limited.
Absolutely.
But when we have a big event, of course, we're bringing porta potties and everything to do it. But we have had events like the biggest one, the Key Lime Pie Festival, 10,000 people, or 7,000, I guess it was probably the estimate. We've done that 3 times, so it's been good. But we're the home for 20-some veterans organizations. They meet there, VFW, American Legion, Fleet Reserve, Marine Corps League, Rolling Thunder. Rolling Thunder is a big, and that's.
Talk about the big event that's coming up.
I was just going to bring Rolling Thunder is they meet there once a month, and but they're a big part of our organization. I'm a member now of Rolling Thunder, even though I'm not a biker.
I'm not either, but I sure had them roll up and put up our Palmia flag in front of the chamber. That was great.
So they recruited me in on that. So, but we've got a big event coming up on the 28th through the 30th, and it's called the Ride for Freedom. And this ride used to be in Washington, D.C., until last year. And the last time that was in Washington, there were $1.7 billion bicycle or motorcycles in Washington, D.C.
1.7 million bicycles.
1.7 million is what I understand. Now, I wasn't there, but this is what they're telling me. Now, Washington, D.C. doesn't want this big event there because of the security and everything. So it's going to regional. So Florida, Chapter 1 here, started putting this together, and we've got 8 states that are interested in coming in.
Wow.
So we don't know how many from those 8 states, but with all the bikers here and, the combat vets and American Legion riders and other motorcycle clubs that will participate in this. But Friday night, the 28th, will be a vigil or a silent vigil. Okay. And there'll be a wall, a smaller version of the Vietnam Wall that'll sit in there. Nice. And then a War on Terror, some gave all, some gave all gave some. That's that will be inside the building because it's wooden. So we'll set that up in our building, but there will be a visual candlelight vigil that evening.
Okay.
For that, and then the bike ride will kick stands up, they call it, but the event in the park will be all day Saturday and Sunday. Will be vendors and food trucks and everything out there for the public that wants to come to see this event.
Sure.
Not all bikers, but they'll be parking in the mall, coming across into the area.
Okay.
And we expect a big turnout for this. We don't know how many. It could be 2,000.
Right.
It could be 5,000. We don't.
It's hard to know what to expect these days as someone who runs a lot of events.
But it's
themselves.
there's a lot of posters around. There's it's in the social media.
Awesome.
So if you want to look at that, but it should be a great event for the public to
and
come
that's
out.
May 28th.
May 28th,
Okay.
29th, and 30th.
Got it.
And then the 31st is Memorial Day, and we'll have our ceremony there. I'll be emceeing that ceremony starting at 9 o'clock on Monday morning, the 31st. And our keynote speaker will be Danny McKnight, Colonel McKnight.
We know him.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Very good.
He's been around. So, and Sheriff Ivey may be there and several other dignitaries, but we'll have a short Memorial Day service, and
Wonderful.
And we'll try to keep it short because it's going to be hot.
It is going to be hot. We're already cooking down here on the Space Coast. Well, that's just one small example of the many events that they hold throughout the year. Dean, you do a wonderful job, and so does your team on commemorating everything that's been going on. And so thank you for doing that.
Well, our building we rent it out. We've got everything from jazzercise to table tennis to bone builders. People, use it, weddings, celebration of life.
Yes.
And we've got 350 foot of boardwalk on the Indian River. Beautiful.
It is.
You can
it's
have
gorgeous.
It's a great place for weddings and this kind of thing. And we invite people out to take a look at it. And we use our museum if they want to do we got a retirement or a promotion ceremony coming up in the museum.
Okay.
So we use that as a backdrop for a lot of these.
Wonderful. Now, you've referenced the several organizations that use your space to meet. Are there any services? Because we have thousands. I was blown away when I saw the actual number of how many veterans we have living in Brevard County.
Right.
Are there services?
72,000 veterans in the county. And DAV 123 is a tenant organization, Disabled American Veterans, Post 123 or branch, whatever they call it. But they operate there from 8 to 12 every day by appointment only right now. But you can call, make an appointment to sit down with a DAV and get your VA straightened out, VA support and this kind of thing. And this office or this DAV is the most active in the state of Florida.
I'm sure.
We put a lot of people through there. So with that, but we have other services too, like Veterans in Need and this kind of thing. We have, we go to schools. We give talks in schools when we could go to schools.
Sure.
Now we do it on a thumb drive, record it, and send it to the schools, and they play it. But Veterans Outreach, we call it, Veterans Back to Class, all these. Plus we have a program in there of Veterans History Project in our library. And we have interviewed about 240 right now that we have interviewed, and we have given them copies for their families. A copy goes to the Library of Congress for archive, and we keep a copy in our archives there. So anybody can come in and listen to any of these stories of life.
Yeah, that's wonderful. It's great. And it's good for the next generation, too, to be listening to stories like that so that we can all remember. So if you're a veteran out there and you're listening, what number do they call for more information on these services?
For the DAV, it's 452-1774, I believe.
Okay.
But for the Veterans Memorial Center itself, it's 453-1776, and then there's several extensions.
Sure.
But my extension,
you'll get to the right place if
Exactly.
you listen to it. Okay,
Exactly.
very good.
Right.
Two more things I want to touch on with you, Dean. So the first being, you mentioned that you came here and you were actually on assignment at Patrick Air Force, well, now Patrick Space Force Base.
Right.
And you ended up staying. You ended up transferring over to NASA. And I hear that story through our MAC time and time again. These active duty guys that come here, they never want to leave. They end up staying here and having their forever home here. Tell me a little bit about why you think that is and the quality of life we have here on the Space Coast.
My last tour of duty was I was what we call homesteaded. I was in Jacksonville, Florida, in the VP community or patrol wing community for 11 years. So it was living in Orange Park, Jacksonville area. But I knew this area down here. I had friends in here. We'd visited. We'd come down and watch the launches and this kind of thing. So I knew what it had. And then when I had an offer to take a job at Patrick, I jumped on it because it was a perfect place to transition. Mm-hmm. And I loved the area. I prefer North Florida over the weather in North.
Oh,
North
come
Florida
on! But, little heat keeps it interesting.
Yeah. But no, we're set. We've been in our house since 1987, and
that was a good year.
We're not going anywhere.
That's good. Okay, and one final question for you, Dean. Obviously, you've been an active member in our Chamber of Commerce for many years. You've been a part of the MAC for many years. Can you tell us a little bit about what your partnership has meant to be with the Cocoa Beach Chamber, what it's done for the center, anything else that a business that's listening that's not sure about the Chamber and what we can do for them, how you found help through the Chamber?
What I found for us and the Veterans Center and the MAC was getting the word out to the community about where we are. Like I say, people don't even know we exist back there. Well, were you behind the mirror? Oh yeah, those helicopters on
the helicopter
pedestals.
place. Yeah.
But they never come into the building. They've driven by there, and so it's getting the word out. It's the chamber helping us get recognized in the community, get the word out. Talking to the active duty guys at the MAC meetings and everything, and letting them know what we do, not only what we do, but our organizations like Military Officers Association, how much they support the military, the Fleet Reserve, the American Legion, and all these Rolling Thunder, all these different organizations. It seems like I'm a member of every one of them, but
honorary member.
Yeah, but it's definitely the chamber has helped us get known in the community, and that's the biggest thing. I know your Wednesdays Friendies. I'd love to go to those, but I have a meeting at the same time every month at that
Listen,
time. So,
if you can't make that one, we've got 100 more meetings we can send you to. That's what we do.
And we've had to have, and we've tried to have those. We hosted one of them in our place.
You have. And we'd love to get you on the schedule to host a MAC meeting as we transition back to in-person. That would be great.
Correct. We want to meet for it, but we have a great, between our Gray Hall, our meeting room, and the library. We use the library for meeting rooms, and we can have anybody can come in and book a place to hold a meeting and everything. And we used to have BBNI or BBI, the BNI used to meet there. I don't know when they're going to come back in person, but they were meeting there twice a week, I think, before the pandemic. So we'll get back to it. And we've never been closed during the pandemic. We've been open a certain amount the whole time with social distancing, the masks, and so we've practiced the CDC guidelines. We just relaxed our mask in the museum, and it's not required; it's recommended. Mm-hmm. So we can.
We're getting there. Slowly but surely as a country, we're making a comeback. Well, Dean, thank you very much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on your big win. And if you have not been by the Brevard Veterans Memorial Center, they are in Merritt Island, just near the chamber office off of Fortenberry, right there at that intersection by the mall. Please come and see them. Come walk the trail. Book it for an event. They're a wonderful organization. And if you're a veteran that's listening, please call one of those numbers that Dean mentioned earlier in the show. And if you're not familiar with the Chamber's MAC, or Military Affairs Council, we do meet every month. We've been meeting virtually. We have one coming up on May 19th, where actually General Purdy is going to be talking to us and giving us an update. So very excited to have him virtually. And then we're slowly going to be transitioning back to in-person events. So if you're interested in hearing from our active duty community, as well as the veterans that are part of MAC, please come out. We would love to have you and just get you engaged.
And look at our social media. We have Facebook. You can find us under the Veterans Memorial Center, and same with our website. And we've got you can take a virtual 360-degree tour going in the museum. You don't even have to go there, and you can see everything. So just go to our site.
And I'll mention, you can now see things 360 outside. Tell them about the periscope that you just put in.
Periscope. Our latest project was dropping a periscope through the roof, and I had to get permission all the way to the county commissioners to do it. but but it was approved. It was designed properly, and we had a big crane in there, all pro bono by Ivy Construction, Bechtel Cranes, and Hamilton Roofing. They all did this pro bono. And I a big shout out to Jim Kuzma, who we lost recently. He was behind that, getting the
such a wonderful man.
And he was through the Navy League and getting some funds available and the pro bono support for that. So big shout out for Jim Kuzma. But we got the periscope in. It's been in a box in the parking lot for 2 years. And
now you can see the Winn-Dixie and everything else around you.
I watched the launch the one that went off at 3 p.m. last week.
Through the periscope.
I watched it through the periscope.
Wow.
The launch pad is behind the condos that we're looking at there, but as soon as it clears the condos, well, you can
get a good view.
Get about 10 seconds worth of it.
All right. So now we have a new launch viewing spot in a really unique way. So all that to say, Brevard Veterans Memorial Center is pretty great. Please come on out and see them. And thank you so much for tuning into this edition of the Cocoa Beach Chambers podcast.
Thank you.
Chamber Vibes. We'll see you next time.